question about the fourth quarter first. Bringing Allie off the bench late. What was your mission there? I mean, obviously.
What you mean? I don't know. When?
Just subbing her for Rebecca late. What was your intention there?
So putting her in or taking her out?
Putting her in.
In the overtime, you mean?
Yeah.
In overtime.
Oh yeah. And she had those 5 quick points. Yeah. Overtime.
I mean, it's just we have our team complement each other, and I thought that we needed that boost from her. Like Allie's clutch, you know. She scored like in bunches in championships to secure us titles. So you know, it was nothing for us to, think that she can do the same. So I thought Rebecca had got her a rhythm a little early, especially defensively, and I wanted to play, faster. And then when it was just time for Allie to close the game, that's all.
Definitely. And you talked earlier about this being a game in the paint, and it also being a game where you wanted to emphasize not turning the ball over. You guys outscored them in the paint 62-56, but had like something like 30 in the first half, really got going early. So what were you pleased with from your team as far as their scoring in the paint goes?
I just thought we played to the way we wanted to play. Thought we turned it over a little bit too much, but that's a good defensive team, and we just try to do what we can.
Yeah, those turnovers in the second allowed them to come back, and then late allowed them to force it to overtime. So what needs to change in order to limit those a little bit more?
I kind of messed up. I was trying to call a timeout, and I was trying to make sure they saw me, and I just came too far over. I mean, Cheryl explained it. I came too far over, and I can't do that. But I thought if I got the timeout called, that we probably would have. It was my fault. It was my fault. And
so that was you coming onto the field.
I was trying to call a timeout, so I didn't, and I wanted to make sure they saw me. So, and they didn't. So it's I messed up.
Ka had a huge night, 27 points. I think almost all of them were scored in the paint. She took a few hard hits. How is she doing?
I think she's doing fine. I think she's doing okay. I mean, bumped up a lot, but yeah, I think she'll be fine. We'll give her a day, and she'll try to recover.
They looked like they adjusted a little bit in the third quarter, and then Ka again in the fourth quarter in 13. So what did you see switch from the third quarter to the fourth that allowed her to get more active in the paint again, or was it just?
I thought we just stayed persistent. We stayed persistent in what we wanted to do, and in the fact that we were able to get the ball out and get the ball up the floor and change sides of the floor. I thought it helped us.
And then, do you guys like playing overtime here?
If we keep winning, yes.
Okay, cool.
James K on Zoom.
Hey, Coach. Courtney passed Lindsay Whalen for third on the all-time assist list this year. And I'm just kind of curious, is there anything that you all do to celebrate those moments, or is it kind of just a business as usual mentality like you guys, continue to show?
We celebrate after the game. So we celebrate it after the game. And so sometimes when I don't have updates on players' health and stuff like that, it's because we're busy celebrating. And so we wanted to make sure we celebrated that. We celebrated Ka 2000 and Z's 1000, and we these moments, like doing that stuff, it's not easy to do the stuff that they're doing, and I just want to show them how much the team and the organization appreciates them. The fact that she's got so many assists, and and she's still in the prime of her career, I think it's just amazing.
On a note outside of this game, it was announced today that Bill Russell passed away. And I just wasn't sure if there's anything, just his impact on basketball, even beyond the NBA, I think and society in general is pretty pronounced. Is there any moments that you can share that you what Bill Russell means to you as someone who has really built up the game?
It means a lot. He was the first, he broke barriers as far as what he was able to do, especially in the NBA, being in Boston, being in a predominantly white era, and being able to be the face of a franchise in a town that is known to be not so kind to African Americans in that point in time, and the way he carried himself, the way he supported the WNBA as far as being at the game in Seattle. I got a chance to meet him. He's a fraternity brother of mine, so it's something that I've always admired about him, and also Will Chamberlain, that we all come from the same fraternity. So and I just love the way he carried himself, and he was able to be a coach and a player. And the things that he was able to do in the game, that they haven't been done before at an elite level, and the fact that he's won doing everything is just amazing in my eyes. And I think this is a sad day for the sport of basketball. The fact that he's passed, and I just wish his family and friends in the basketball community well as we recover from this, because it's he's had a large imprint on the game of basketball, and he will be sorely missed.
Thanks, Coach. Appreciate it.
Last one will go to Mike Hughes. Mike?
Hey, Coach. I was wondering if you could talk a little bit about Azure so far this season and how her role has continued to fluctuate, whether that be through injuries or situations like Candace just not feeling well. For you, how do you view her as an overall player, being able to not only be a leader of the second unit, but be able to be a consistent scoring option with the starting unit?
Yeah, we don't really look into those things. That's you guys' narrative, that you say her role has been the same, is to show up and be herself and to help us win games. And we play to her, whether she's starting or whether she comes off the bench. So our team we don't really function like how you guys see it. We all support each other. And the fact that she was able to get a double-double tonight, and like Azare's going to always play free, and her teammates want her to play free. And so that's how we view it. If Candace was here, we still want Azare to do the same things. And the fact that she was able to step in and start, I think is something that this is what these type of teams do. So as we have a next player up mentality, and whether it be Courtney out and Julie starting or whatever, we really don't get into all that stuff.
And I was kind of curious, if you don't mind me asking, in the last possession of the fourth quarter, obviously the play got broken up, but what was the initial draw up play that you had for Ka? Was it supposed to go to Ka in the end of the fourth quarter?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, I was just wondering.
Yeah. It's supposed to go to Ka.
Thanks, Coach.
All right.
All right, thanks, Coach.
All right, thanks, guys.
Just wondering if you could talk quickly about tonight. She's played some big minutes as of late, and tonight today her defense, was big in the first half.
She gave really good minutes. I thought she gave us a level of physicality that we sorely needed, and the stat sheet is not going to really reflect the it's not going to really reflect like 20 points or 10 rebounds, but the minutes that she gave us, being in the right place, good screens, making sure that her player didn't get offensive rebounds. And in a close game, just as tight as this, to have a +2 in the 13 minutes that she played, I think that's very valuable. And we gave her kudos after the game because she hasn't been playing a lot, and for her to be present and ready to play, I think it says a lot about her character and who she is as a player.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you.
All right, thanks, guys.
Thanks, Coach.
I think it might have been an assist to Allie in the end because that's when we got the alert. So yeah, that moment, and also just being able to make history alongside, your wife and teammate.
It's I didn't know that, so it's in the moment. It was just happy to score, happy to kind of, I don't know which one it was, but she hit two really really big shots for us. But yeah, it's incredible. Lindsay's one of my favorite all-time players too, so it's special and to be mentioned amongst these players. But I always say this, it's like I play with a bunch of bucket getters, and Allie has been a big part of that because obviously she shoots it at a really high rate, so my job is easy, hers is the hard part.
And then turnovers, you guys have talked a lot about things that need to improve as you get closer to the playoffs, and today, turnovers could have been amounted to a loss. And so what's the emphasis on? Like, how do you clean these up?
I think picking our times when we're attacking and when we're not. This is what they do. This is one of I think they lead the league in turnovers forced, or one of the tops. So we have to know that going into the game, pick our moments and try to move them and make it. We want to get shots up. We shot 55%.
Yeah.
So if we take care of the ball a little bit more and we're shooting at that high rate, this game doesn't go into overtime. So we know that it's something that we have to clean up. We're definitely going to, obviously we see this team won another time, but this is a playoff team that we'll probably see them a few more times. So it's definitely something that we got to clean up.
Sorry, just one more. Do you guys like playing overtime here? What is it about overtime?
Yeah, it happens a lot here. I think, obviously it's the matchup. We match up really. There's always a competitive game with Connecticut. My whole career, it's been like that. It's a tough place to come and play, but we do seem to play pretty well here usually. But it's just the matchup. It's such a fun, two of the best teams in the league, in my opinion, and we battle it out.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
James K on Zoom, James K, and then we'll go to Mike last.
Hey, Courtney, thanks for your time. I got a feeling where I know what your answer is going to be here, but when you pass someone, like when you make history like this, passing Lindsay for the third on the all-time assist list, do you try to take moments to celebrate, huge moments like this for something like your career, or is this something that you kind of put on the back burner until the season's over?
Yeah, I think I put it in the back burner until maybe the end of my career. Of course, it's nice to be mentioned. Like I said, these are some of the greats that I'm being mentioned with. So it's obviously I take a moment, but I'm really looking forward just to continue to win games and whatever they need for me, and I think it'll be more of something that I enjoy later on rather than right now.
For sure. One of the things that I've noticed is that you all, you and Ka specifically, have really been getting to the free throw line more often. And then that extends like before you got injured or had sustained that concussion. Has that been a point of emphasis? I know that James had that one moment in the Commissioner's Cup where he said, "Don't pass up open threes and get to the paint." Have you felt like it's been a kind of an emphasis to get to the free throw line and go downhill like that?
Yeah, I think, especially for both of us, we're at our best when we're in the paint, and, putting pressure on teams to defend, and we can't settle for jumpers all the time. And we'll let Allie do that. So, I think, you put teams on their heels. Obviously it's a good way to get points, but then you're in bonuses earlier. Your teams are now maybe in foul trouble. It's, things like that. It all plays a part, and it's just a mentality to be aggressive and, make them guard us at the rim.
Thanks, Courtney.
Last question, we'll go to Mike Hughes. Last question.
Hey, Courtney, when you look at this team from top to bottom, you see Ruthie up huge today. You see Azure continuing to do her thing, whether it be with the unit or the second unit. How much does that make you have a confidence boost knowing that individuals like Julie, even when you were out with your concussion, can step up and really help contribute to this team from all cylinders?
Yeah, I mean, that was something that we knew going into the season when we were building this roster that, we struggled with injuries last year. And, those played big parts in our season when we're, dropping games because we don't have a full roster. So that was an emphasis going into it, is we need a really strong bench. In my opinion, we have one of the strongest. We have Ruthie, who, she's such a awkward role. You just never know what you're going to get at night in and night out. And she stayed ready. Candace isn't here today. And so she was able to step in and play huge minutes for us. I mean, that's hard to do at this level. And I don't think she's going to get enough respect for that, but we all appreciate what she can do and just staying ready. Julie and Beck are obviously, just come off the bench, and it doesn't seem like we skip a beat. So it's good, and we're going to need it, especially games like this when we're in overtime. We had one the other night. This is a tough part of the season, and it helps anytime you don't have to play heavy minutes.
And then you look at, clinching the playoffs so early in July, very early on in July. Looking at that kind of being like a blessing and a curse, in a sense of where it's like you're excited that you clinched, but remaining focused and remaining locked in. How hard is that to kind of just keep going day by day, knowing that you still want to get better, even though in a lack of better words, that there's really nothing to play for, like there was last season, to where it was a later entry into the playoffs?
Well, I think our mentality was different coming into this season. Making the playoffs was not the goal. So once that happened, it was, we're not emphasizing that. We're emphasizing winning a championship, winning back-to-back. So, we obviously know we have some work to do, and it's not going to be easy. So we're striving for that. We're not striving just to get in. Nothing changed once we clinched. We're still, trying to clean some things up and making sure we're peaking and staying healthy at the right time so that we can make a really deep playoff run.
Thanks, Luke.
Yep.
Thank you, Sue.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
I think it was